Where great cigars meet great conversations. This is Poppa P's podcast. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Poppa P's podcast. We're coming from your Studio GR.
The green room.
That's right here at Poppa P's Smoke Shop and Lounge, and we're glad to have you aboard. And first off, let's tell them a little bit about Poppa P's Smoke Shop and Lounge. We are a full-service tobacconist, focusing on premium cigars. We got a beautiful humidor retail storefront. And then you kind of go back through another door, kind of back to the mystery room. Mm-hmm. And that's where you'll find a full bar, full lounge.
Yeah, we like the idea that hopefully our lounge is a place that's a little mysterious, but right when you come in the door, you feel like you've walked into Cheers.
That's right. So, and we got a great staff back there, and most importantly, we have an incredible ventilation system that you can sit back here, enjoy your cigars, bring your significant other that maybe doesn't smoke cigars, and they're still going to be very comfortable here. So we'll tell you where we are a little bit later on, but what are you smoking today, Del?
Well, today I'm smoking the Perdomo Cabinet Series Cameroon Petite Corona. And I found this through Scott a year or so ago, and it is just a really nice, easy smoke. I particularly like the Corona size, and this is a Petite Corona.
Well, I am smoking an Arturo Fuente Hemingway Signature. It's one of the great classic cigars, and I'm kind of partial to Nicaraguan tobacco. However, one of my all-time favorite cigars, Fuente Hemingway, is a Dominican cigar, and that's what I'm smoking today, and I'm having a little sip of Ron Zacapa rum.
Well, that's appropriate.
Well, we were going to save this for later episodes when we're doing pairings and stuff, but we thought we ought to have a little toast to our first episode.
I think that's a great idea. And I have Papa's Pilar Rye Finished Rum, one of my favorites. And if you know me, you already knew that.
Well, we want to move on, and I think the first thing I do is kind of get to know us a little bit. So, I'm Scott. Known around here as Poppa P. My co-host, Del. A lot of people always ask where does the Poppa P come from. Well, my last name is Partridge, just like the family. Until about the 1st of December, then the whole parrotry thing will kick in for a little bit. But when I first got into the cigar industry, I was running a cigar shop, and I'd hire a lot of college kids. And, well, not kids, they were college students. And they would, as a result, I kind of became the father figure. If they had school problems, they came to me, or girl problems, or money problems. And they just started calling me Poppa P, and it kind of stuck. So that's where the Poppa P part of it came from. So Del, he's got a real different, prior to that, I spent most of my life in the music industry, and you're going to learn that we got very different backgrounds and approaches, and that's what kind of makes this very, very cool. So
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your background, Del.
Well, I spent 33 years in industrial and commercial construction, working for a family business, TW Frierson Contractor. My partner, Dean Taylor, and I decided about 10 years ago, to do an ESOP, and started the process of selling the company to our employees. And when we went 100% 3 years ago, Dean and I decided it might be a good idea for us to do something else. So now they're thriving and doing better than ever without us. But that frees me up to do things like this, and I love to learn. And one of the things I've had the real opportunity to do is get to know Scott better. We've known each other for 7 or 8 years now, but in the last 2 years, since we've been open for 22 months, spend several afternoons down here at the shop with Scott, learning about cigars, and most importantly, spending time with our customers, and just enjoying the social aspect of cigars. And I guess some other things you might want be interesting to know, because there are a few of us left in Nashville, but I'm from Nashville. I grew up in Creve Hall, and for those of you who are familiar with Creve Hall, I will validate my history. I played baseball at Regent Field. 8 to 10 years old, I was a twin, and 11 and 12 years old, I was a Pirate. So that should confirm to any of you guys and gals out there who know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I'll say this, that I'm glad that you decided to make the business move you did with T.W. Frierson, because if you hadn't, chances are this wouldn't be here today. So I appreciate that.
It kind of worked out, didn't it?
It worked out well. Del said a native from this area. I'm completely opposite. I came to town 30 years ago. I'm from very rural upstate New York, up in what they call the Finger Lakes region. And for everybody that says when they hear New York, they think, boy, I'm a big city boy. Trust me, that's not the case. Where I was born and raised, I had 18 kids in my graduating class, so very small rural country area. And like so many people, I came to Tennessee 30 years ago for the music industry, and I've had a very blessed life. I was able to tour. I had some success writing music, had a recording studio for a little while, and then I actually worked in the industry in one form or another in the music business ever since I came to Nashville. When I was ready to move on from that, I wanted to do something, and I just always had a love of cigars. Did not know a lot about them, just knew that I enjoyed them, and that's how I got in the business. I saw an ad in the paper, and it just said upscale smoke shop in Nashville. Was looking for a manager, and I narrowed it down. I said, well, that's got to be one of two different shops, and I sent a resume, and lo and behold, I got into the business. And within a couple months, I was able to make a trip to the Dominican Republic and spend a week with Davidoff Cigars, and that changed everything. I immediately became enamored by the industry, and I learned what they meant when they said premium hand-rolled cigars, and how much time and effort and passion goes into every cigar that we smoke. So that's how I made it to this point. So once I got in the business, I got hooked. And now I do got to ask you a quick question, Del, because I get accused a lot of guys or whatever come to me and say, it's your fault. It's your fault that I've got into this cigar culture and love it so much. And I kind of got you into it. I just need to make sure that your family is okay with me and don't disown me because I got you into cigars.
Well, not at all. I think that one thing that does, since I don't have a paycheck anymore, it gives me a place to come and get away. So my wife surely appreciates that, because if I'm not playing golf, you have learned in the last 2 years I'm here. So there's my two things that I enjoy. And one thing that when I told myself I didn't need is you drug me into this, fully willing, of course, as I didn't need another vice, because I already had golf, and I am passionate about spirits as well. And the other thing that I enjoy actually more than that is wine. So you add these things together, and since they're all related in the businesses we have here in this building, might as well just make it be full circle. So no, you are in good graces.
Well, that's good to hear. And I tell you, one of the neat things that's been so enjoyable about this, when we opened I call it the new Poppa P Smoke Shop and Lounge, it was quite a venture. This is a big operation, and but we never really had this planned out, the involvement and the interaction that you and I were going to grow to accomplish here. It wasn't anything that was planned, it just happened. And I think that's what's been so cool to me, and that's one of the reasons when I was thinking about doing a podcast, you would be the perfect person to do it with me.
Well, I was wondering why you were recruited.
Because
recruited me because
Well,
I'm more known
it
around here
has.
as the maintenance guy.
No, it has. It's been this neat venture, and I love the fact that you enjoy this as much as I do, because that's what makes it all worthwhile. Is I never have a day that I get up and say, "Man, I wish I didn't have to go do that today." So it's been a blast, and we're just getting started. We're 18 months into
20
it or
months.
so, 20 months into it. So
Yeah, and it's been phenomenal, and I just look forward to the future. And we're constantly evolving, and we have discussions almost daily about things to do, things to change, things to make better, things to eliminate. And hopefully, if you've been in to see us in the last almost 2 years, you've seen things just that exact thing. And one of the big things that happened to me in the last year because of you is inviting me to the cigar show. Holy cow.
PCA.
Oh, yeah. That was where I was about waist deep. And then when you go spend 3 days at the cigar show, you're suddenly over your head, especially as a neophyte that I am. But it was fantastic. And getting to meet the people in the industry, from the cigar makers themselves to our salespeople.
It's a very unique industry in the sense that most everybody in our industry realizes we're all in this together. We're an industry that we're an easy target for regulations, for taxes, and but it's one of the few industries out there that, for the most part, everybody gets along. They respect each other, and but speaking, you said earlier, things coming up. Speaking of that, let's tell them a little bit about what we got planned for this podcast moving forward. So today is just kind of getting to know us and introducing ourselves, but we got a bunch of cool things coming up for future episodes, and maybe we'll touch on a few of them.
Okay. Well, as we're kicking this off, our goal is to do this once a week. And this is season 1, episode 1. With Christmas coming, seems like a real good topic here in the next batch that we make is going to be cigars and gifts. And we're going to bring in some examples from each end of the spectrum of cost and availability, and ideas that we've seen, and especially Scott and the guys up front have seen, that are big hits during the holidays, from very nice wrapped gifts to stocking stuffers.
Yeah, and one thing all my years in the business that I like to say, especially with the holidays coming up, or even like Father's Day or things like that, we like to make shopping easy. So don't come in and be intimidated and say, "Man, I have no idea what to get." It's I'm trying to buy a gift, but come on in and we can certainly steer you in the right direction. So we have that coming up, and
well, another thing we really think is important is to educate and help not just us, but have pairings. So, like, we happen to both like rum a lot, and people think of rum and bourbon, whiskey, cognac with their cigars, and those are all accurate. So look forward to shows where we talk about specific spirits and a cigar that may go with that really well. And another one that we're going to line up, we're going to get Jeff from up front at Cool Springs Wine and Spirits to spend an episode with us and do the exact same thing with wine, because it is also a real treat to make those comparisons.
Yeah, because for so long, the mentality was you pair up cigars with bourbon or whiskey. Well, before the bourbon craze and stuff, it was Scotch. And people kind of forgot about Scotch, but you can pair up a cigar with about anything. So look for episodes where we're talking about rums, bourbons, whiskeys, wine, beer.
Yes, and you even told me about...
People think this is crazy, but I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to tell you how to enjoy a cigar with a cold glass of chocolate milk. You'll be surprised.
I think that's a podcast unto itself.
That could be. Now, with each of these, we got various guests that'll be coming in from the spirits world, from the beer world. So we'll kind of get their perspective on it as well. So
from the business standpoint?
From a business standpoint.
To what's going on locally. Another kind of thing that we want to do with guests is get some of our customers.
We're going to have some customers come
Locker
in
holders.
and, we also talk about guest. It's all going to be cigar related. However, we're going to have some entertainment, some music guests. I mean, we are Nashville, so,
Right. And we are in the green room.
And we are in the green room here, Studio GR. So we got guests coming up that are in the music industry that I think you'll be excited about. We'll have guests from the cigar industry, some well-known people, some people you may not know as well, but you ought to. So we got a bunch of great shows lined up. I just see on the list here, and I hope I'm not going to get us in trouble right off the bat, but we're going to do things like, does size matter?
That's right.
Because you got cigars from little petite Robustos to Coronas. I mean, they got 6x60s, 7x70s, and
There's one that looks like a broomstick.
we're gonna dig into that a little bit and talk
And
about
I found
that.
that in the last couple of years is that Corona size, and recently one of the ones that we had in the shop, the Angel Share Lancero.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic.
Yep. A lot of people get scared of Lanceros, and it's one of my favorite. That's again for another podcast, but we're going to dedicate a show to that and things like that. The pairings we talked about. Going to have a lot of. We're very fortunate here in Middle Tennessee. We got great breweries, distilleries, and cigar people right here in Middle Tennessee. So we got plans to have a bunch of them on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want this to get too technical or boring, but I think we do need to kind of talk about the current state of the industry. With government affairs.
Well, legislation to tariffs.
Legislation and tariffs, and we'll be talking about that a little bit. One that I'm really looking for, it's a ladies' world too. Used to be that it was almost considered taboo for females to smoke cigars, drink a glass of bourbon, whatever, and that is definitely not the case anymore. And we see that every day out here in our lounge. So we got a couple great guests in mind for that. So we got some very cool things.
Well, I think one that we've got lined up at some point sooner than later is, where do you start?
Yep.
If it's something that you want to wade into, or for that matter, dive into, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And I think, as we do that, there's definitely do's and don'ts and right ways and wrong ways, but we're going to also encourage you not to overthink it. A lot of people really overthink all the technical aspects of smoking a cigar and cutting it and lighting it, but a whole lot of it's personal preference. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more and good ways to do things, but there's really no bad answers or bad ways. So we'll be doing that.
If I knew some golfers who wanted to come on and to sit with us and talk about their golfing experience with cigars, that might be a little specific, but I think we can figure it out.
Yep. So other things we got, some fun topics like, where do you enjoy smoking your cigars, and
Besides Poppa P.
besides Poppa P's. So we got a bunch of great things coming up, and we certainly would love your thoughts and ideas on maybe some ideas for future shows, and at the end we'll tell you how you can get a hold of us. So but we got some cool things in the works, and our whole goal is to make this fun and enjoyable for people, and we got some great stories that we can share as we move forward. Again, today is just kind of introduce ourselves to you folks and tell you what we got going on. And
well, let's also tell the folks that are listening to us and watching things that happen here in the lounge.
We're kind of very blessed here. We got great space, and we do everything. With my background in music, it's been neat that we've been able to tie that in with what we do here with live music. And, especially in the fall and winter months, at least once a month we'll have a live music event going on.
Well, this Friday night.
This Friday night. So we'll be doing a bunch of that. And as we move forward, when the shows come out each week, we'll be able to tell you what we got coming up. But we also do great events with cigar companies in here, and we do poker, Texas Hold'em. We do that every other week, and a whole bunch of things. Here in the green room, we do a lot of private tastings where it'll be a cigar, bourbon pairing or whatever, for 10, 12 people in a private setting. We do that a lot. We got a bunch of great things coming up, so between events and music and a whole lot more. And in time, we're going to bring some of our staff in to be part of it. We've got an incredible staff here, and
Well, I'm really looking forward to our Meet the Bartenders.
Meet the Bartenders. You'll be fascinated by them because they all come from different walks of life, but they love what we do here, and so we'll be doing a lot of that type of stuff, and we've been very fortunate. We have had some incredible events here, and we got a bunch of them coming up, and again, moving forward, we'll be able to tell you a little bit more about all of them. So trying to think if there's any some other fun ideas that we have for shows. We're going to do a show where we're just kind of talking about famous cigar smokers.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a bunch of them out there, and stuff like that. So it's not going to be all just boring technical.
Yeah, we want it to be useful. We want it to be fun. There will be a time where we get a little bit in the technical side of cigars, but we don't go too deep in that unless you want us to. But some of the things that I needed help with, which is how do you cut it? What is proper etiquette with an ashtray? Little things like that once you're talked through, all of a sudden it might appear at least kind of know what you're talking about, or what you're doing it.
And I think one of the episodes that we got planned that I think I may be looking for the most is just, beyond the smoke. And it's really just the camaraderie and everything that comes along with, there's so much more than just lighting up a cigar and enjoying it. Cigars are kind of a common denominator, and we see it here at Poppa P's every day. I'll look out there, and there'll be 4 or 5 people sitting at one table, and I know one of them's an attorney. One of them works in the music industry. One of them mows lawns for a living. But when they light up a cigar, we're all the same. And I think that's one of the great things, the camaraderie, the conversation, and everything that comes along with a cigar. So,
Well, yeah, the concept that we were told about, but we've observed, and it's actually dead on, is that 1 hour, 1 cigar, 1 drink. It's usually 1.5 beers. But it actually, cigars make you slow your life down a little bit.
Absolutely.
And in this world, we need that.
Yeah. It's one of my sayings around here when, people look at the price of a cigar. I quickly remind them it's cheaper than therapy. So we got a bunch of great things coming up, and, we are going to do a section where you guys can send Del and I questions.
Right.
And that could be multiple.
Well, you set up an
episodes
email
down the
just for
road.
that.
So if you think of some already, you can email us at podcast@poppapeas.com.
Yep.
And they'll come right to me. Any thoughts, ideas, anything you'd like to see us talk about or hear us talk about, we're open to any thoughts and ideas. So,
Yeah. Because we're going to need a little help.
we are. Yeah. I do have to acknowledge before we wrap this up, behind the scenes, Miss Emmy producing our show, and she's the one that's really make this all possible for us, because quite honestly, we're pretty clueless to all this
That's
stuff.
true.
So,
Yeah.
who knows?
Hopefully we'll get a little better.
Maybe we can get her in the other side of the camera one day.
That's true.
Because she's got a great
She has a good story. That's
herself.
right.
So Miss Emmy, we appreciate
Yep.
you for making this possible for us. So,
Well, I think as we come around to the end or the tail end of our first show, it might be a good idea to tell people a little bit more about where we are. And I'll start off. We are a sister company to Cool Springs Wine and Spirits. We're in the same building, just in the very back. I say 75 feet down the sidewalk, which is pretty close. I used to be an estimator in construction, so I'm not an exactinator. But that's we do a lot of related events and try and tie things together with barrel picks and things like that with Cool Springs Wine and Spirits. We're located right next to Academy Sports and right behind Verizon on Mallory Lane in the Cool Springs area. And 1935 Mallory Lane to be specific. So come on by.
Suite 220.
Suite 220 in the very back. Just keep on walking down that sidewalk about 75 feet when you come to Cool Springs Wine and Spirits. Or either way, if you're back here, you can go up front, and they'll take care of you as good, if not better, than we do back here.
Yeah, we'd love to have you stop in and see us. Like Dale said, we're at 1935 Mallory Lane, Suite 220 in beautiful Franklin, Tennessee. So we have a lot of people that from out of the area that have learned about us, and it's very cool when they stop in. So if you ever stop in and you're from out of the area and you heard about us from somebody else, or maybe you hear about us from this podcast or our social media, always let us know that you stopped in from out of the area. So it's very neat to meet everybody.
And if you're a hometown boy or girl like me and you happen to come across this podcast and say, "Is that Del Hickman?" and you're going to be like, "Yeah, it sure is," because I think a few you're going to be surprised.
Well, I think that's about a wrap on episode 1. So we appreciate you watching and listening, and we'll see you very soon.
See you next time.
Thanks a lot.